There'll be girls across the nation that'll eat this up. Babe, I know that it's your soul, but could you bottle it up? Get down to the heart of it. No, it's my heart. You're shit out of your life.
Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy Xerty back here, and I'm bringing you guys like a story time freaking whatever. It's a video, story time video, whatever. But if you're offended by cussing, or by the way, or before I say that, if you hear buzzing in my mic, I can't do anything about it because of I have to get a new one. It's like buzzing and shit. So if you hear it, I can't help it. So but anyway, let's get into basically the story. Okay, the story was when I was in kindergarten, I had this kid that me and him hated each other. And then he ended up, one day he ended up stealing my building blocks, which was basically like Legos or like wooden blocks at that time. He ended up stealing them. And he walked away with them without asking me to share. I was like, I went up behind, followed him and went up behind him. Was like, why did you take my block without me, you asking me for, to take it? He's like, I don't care. And I said to him, I was like, keeping this in mind, I was only like 5 or something at this time, so I didn't know what these words meant. I just heard my family use them when they get mad, so I said, fuck you. And he's like, he points at me, he's like, oh, he said a bad word. And then the teacher comes over, she's like, what did you say? I was like, fuck you. And then she's like, well, that isn't a very appropriate word. I was like, okay. And then she's like, am I gonna have to write you up basically for writing people up in my school? Or well, in primary school, stuff like that, like little kid school, elementary, they would have frowny faces on the desk or on the teacher's desk or whatever you want to burp, sorry. And, but they would have them on their desk. So basically, if someone got mad, not mad, but bad, they would go and post it or something. I don't fucking know what it's called. They just fucking put shit up on there. I don't know what it's called. But it goes from smiley face to straight face to frowny face. And that day, when I said that, she gave me a fucking frowny face, okay? I was fucking pissed. I was about to throw some crayons at people's heads. It was going to go real down. But yeah, she did that, and I said, fuck her, fuck her, or fuck you that, said that to her, the teacher. She was like, that's not very inappropriate. That's a very inappropriate word. I was like, well, you can do whatever, man, but I didn't actually say. I was like, whatever. And then she's like, do you want to take a trip down to the office? I was like, do whatever. She was like, well, I guess I'm getting the principal down here. I was like, okay, go get the principal. So she ended up calling the office, where they had phones in the rooms they would call, and they would do that, and then they would call each room had separate phones that they would call. And so that's what they did, and I was pissed off, and they went down there and grabbed me and pulled me down the fucking hallway while I was screaming let me go. And then they ended up pulling me down there to the office, and while we were in the actual office, not actually in the principal's office, but we was in the actual office, I said, fuck all y'all, or I said, fuck y'all, or whatever, and they weren't too pleased of that. And they sort of and then they just dragged me into the principal's office. The principal was sitting right there, just waiting. And I was sitting in there, and my mom comes in the door saying, what did you do? I was like, I cussed this kid out, or I cussed this boy out that made me mad, and I cussed out the teacher. She was like, well, and then my mom, they ended up putting me in pod, they ended up suspending me for 2 days and then putting me in pod when coming back. Pod is basically detention for elementary school. So they ended up doing that, and I got I wasn't pissed, but I threw it I was sitting in there doing nothing but work, so I was like, I'm just gonna have some fun. So I threw a fucking crayon at the fucking teacher that was sitting in there. And then she looks behind. I was just sitting there doing my work. She's like, "Did you throw that?" I was like, "Why would I throw? I don't even have a crayon." And she's like, "Okay, whatever." And I didn't get in trouble for that, luckily, but you know, it happens. You know, I was a little kid at that time, but then I finally got back to class. You know, went home, whatevs, and did all that stuff. But I finally got back into school, and then I did all that and stuff. But keep in mind, I was a little kid at that time. I was only in kindergarten, so I didn't know any better. But anyway, guys, if you like, comment, subscribe, and this is Xerty, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's